Wicked. We are live and direct. Hello, my name's Chris Mack. I founded and run Rose James Coaching. I am very fortunate to be joined today by, who's been very gracious with his time, a very, very good friend of mine, Bradley Potter. Brad's just going to share some experiences he had on working with us. Brad, do you want to just like introduce yourself, like who you are and like what you do, and yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. So yeah, Brad, obviously we've known each other for some years now. Currently on an adventure of my own, learning how to read the stock market, and got quite interested in that during COVID. Sort of prior to that, I was in recruitment, quite a highly pressured job, long hours, was out kind of drinking a lot of the time with clients, diet wasn't that great. I was slipping in the odd gym here and there, but I wasn't as kind of militant as I am now. And obviously you've helped me with some of that, I guess, which we'll come on to. But yeah, it's been a bit of a wild ride the last 4 years, certainly with me sort of taking this interest in the stock market and how that works and becoming kind of a speculator on where price is going to go. My life has completely changed compared to where I was 4 or 5 years ago. I've had an injury, an operation, and I've gone from sort of weighing nearly sort of 15 stone to getting down to like 12 stone, and got my diet in check, my gym in check, in a really good headspace, really good mindset, sleeping well, all thanks to kind of stuff that Rose James has helped me with.
Well, a lot of that's been your hard work, mate. So, but yeah, hopefully we can kind of just share a little bit about. You've obviously shared a little bit where you were. You was obviously working in a high-pressured environment in the city, and all the kind of temptations that come with that, and obviously demands on your lifestyle because of your time and things like that. You switched to kind of working for yourself, setting up a business, working in a kind of isolated way. So, kind of where was you at, and why did, just for people watching, like why did you sort of say to me, Chris, can we start chat? Because this was before I'd set up the coaching business, and again, being transparent, I was using a lot of these tools and techniques and approaches to trial sort of on you, really, was it? So if you could just sort of take us back.
I was the guinea pig. It felt like that, certainly.
I'll call it what it is. But yeah, like where was you at, and kind of what did we start to put in place, and what did you kind of start seeing immediately?
Yeah, so I looked at your journey. You had your kids and stuff, and then you kind of went on this journey. You kind of got yourself fit. You did a marathon, a triathlon, the nuclear runs and stuff. And you were kind of getting into better shape the older you got. And I was like, well, it can be done, because you hear these people going, I'm out of shape and I'm old. And these guys are like 40, 50 years old, and it's never too late. There's a guy in the gym that's like 75 and he does mixed martial arts and everything else. So, and also this was kind of around about the time, it was COVID and everyone was locked in, and, it was quite easy to open the fridge and snack because you couldn't go out and stuff. And I found I put on a bit of weight, and my mind wasn't in the best of spaces. Kind of recruitment wasn't really going in the right direction. No one was hiring. And I thought, is this time for a change sort of thing? Yeah. And I knew it'd be a little bit of a risk, sort of going off on your own and trying something new. But yeah, I kind of reached out to you and was like, look, could you kind of give me a little bit of guidance on how you got from A to B with your fitness, running a family, and also as well, how could you help me with kind of my time management? Yeah. Because that was also something that I was struggling with as well. I was awful with a day plan when I was in recruitment. It was quite hard to stick to. And I know we had some calls and stuff, and kind of you got me to structure my days, when I'm going to fit the gym in, when I'm going to do certain pieces of work. And it really helped me. And we used to have sort of check-in calls every Tuesday, didn't we? And you kind of hold me accountable for things as well. And it was quite nice to be able to kind of turn to you for advice on not just gym, nutrition, and someone to hold me accountable for stuff. Because I didn't have a boss sort of thing, to kind of get up and do this and do that. So
one of those things, just want to pick up on that because I think that's a really good point. Like that, we obviously said, look, we're going to check in every single week and that accountability. What sort of things were we covering off on that kind of spreadsheet, and how did it help you? Like, what sort of structures did we put in place?
Just making sure that I got, a good amount of sleep. I was finding that, it's easy. We could sit up and watch Netflix till sort of 12, 1 o'clock, and then we go to sleep, and we don't get the kind of 6 to 8 hours that really we should be getting. And I was finding that, and that would, I'd kind of wake up tired, and then I'm craving sugar, and then I'm eating bad foods, and then I might skip the gym, and I'm not in the right mindset. And going back to kind of, the job I'm doing now, you need to be, you need to have a kind of sharp mindset for it. So everything kind of helped, changing the diet and getting in that mindset and that sheet was quite good in terms of me tracking kind of what I was eating, the amount of sleep I was getting. I was even writing down how I was feeling after certain foods, and that really sort of helped as well. So yeah, it's the journey. It's been a great journey. It's been a sort of an experimentation, if you like, over the last sort of 4 years of what foods agree with me. Does it affect my sleep? And this is all stuff that we've spoken about. I
want you to touch on that at the end, actually, because I think that you've kind of transcended the program and taken this onto a completely new level yourself in terms of your own voyage of discovery and going down rabbit holes of kind of intermittent fasting and effects that certain food groups have on your body and stuff like that as well, which I think is incredible. So I'd love you to touch on that as well at the end. One of the things we did do, we put a process goal in place around, you wanted to do a half marathon, didn't you? So just
I was going to come to that. Yeah, glad you brought that up, because that was the sort of real turning point for me, I think. And because I've never done anything like that before. I'm not a long distance runner. I don't mind. I'll do a 3 and 5K, but usually I'm in the gym and I like sort of doing my weights and stuff. And I've started recently doing a lot of body weight stuff, push-ups, dips and stuff like that. But I remember in January, a few years back, you said to me, why don't you give yourself a bit of a challenge? Why don't you run a half marathon? I can put you on a training plan, and it'd be something to, take with you when you're older and say, it's not everyone does it, it was, you put that plan together for me, and that really helped. And that was good, sort of going out and doing 3K, 5K, 7K, 10K, and then getting up to the point where I ran 18K, which was the furthest I've ever ran. And then you said, don't do any more. Wait till you do the 21K, and your adrenaline will get you over that last 4, and it did. So yeah, that was something that you helped me with as well. And I've never even dreamed of running that far, and I wanted to do it in sub 2, and I did it in 1:57. And it's something that I enjoyed.
Like I say, a sub 2 hour marathon, half marathon is not to be sniffed at, and you followed that training plan religiously. But again, it was you who went out there and you who put in that work. And then there was the setback, wasn't there? Which this, for me, just for anyone watching this, and if you hop onto my website, you'll see a picture of Brad with his shirt off, and he looks absolutely incredible. Don't get me wrong, he looks incredible, but that just tells such a small part of the whole story for me. And it was this setback for me, which was where I was kind of like, hats off to you, because a lot of people, especially if they'd come that far, started on the journey, just crossed the finish line of a half marathon in their sub 2 hours, you're getting back into it. Just tell me what happened.
Yeah, well, I finished the half marathon. The half marathon was at the end of March, and then I had a holiday in June. I came back, and about a week later, I went over on my knee playing 5-a-side. A guy fell on top of me, and I busted my knee. It was my meniscus that went, and I was on crutches for about 3 weeks. I was really down in the dumps, because after that marathon, I was in pretty good shape. And I was like, look, I'm on a good path now. I'm going to keep this path going, sort of thing. Keep on this same road. The gym was going well. I'd run a half marathon. I was eating well. I'd lost weight. And then to get that setback where you're like, bang, you're on crutches, on a freak accident. And I know it's only a meniscus. I haven't lost a leg or an arm or anything, but mentally it kind of affected me a little bit. I was really down. And I found that I had to have an operation after an MRI scan. And they said it might be your ACL, and you might not be able to walk for, a good few months afterwards or whatever, be on crutches again. And yeah, I kind of sort of slipped off. from that path, and was kind of just, you know, eating what I wanted, and I, you know, I couldn't run, couldn't walk, and we kind of jumped on those calls again. And you said to me, look, you know, what can you do? Yeah, okay, you can't walk. Yeah, okay, you can't run, but you can lift weights. Get yourself some dumbbells, sit there and do some dumbbells. And that's exactly what I did. And it kind of, you know, it really did help, because you think, oh, I'm just going to throw it all out the window. I can't do anything. It's easy to go down that negative path of feel sorry for me sort of thing. And yeah, you kind of helped me with that, to sort of go, no, I can do something. And then look, before I knew it, I was in hospital, operation, off the crutches, back on the plan. And then it really started from there. And then I've got to this point now when, yeah, I feel great. And, you know, you could say maybe that was a little bit of a bump in the road on this whole journey, maybe more of a pothole. But we're over it now, and we're.
But for me, that's testament to how your mindset's completely shifted to that, and you just viewing it as a pothole or a bump in the road, because you now see it as such a bigger and wider journey. And like
Absolutely.
I say, that kind of,
yeah,
it's what it takes. Like I say, then you kind of throw out the baby with the bathwater, and you go, oh well, I can't run, or I can't do this, I can't do that, and you're dipping back into the snacks and waking up late and feeling sluggish and more tired and less present for either your business or your family or whatever it might be. But instead, you was like, no, let's focus on what we can do. And you was going into the gym, you was doing upper body workouts, you was swimming, you was using sauna as a tool. And I think, and this is where I want you to wax lyrical, because this is where I think that you had a massive discovery yourself, where you said, well, I'm not able to expend as much energy because of my knee, so I need to control what I'm putting in my mouth. So yeah, just tell, because I can't take credit for a lot of this, because this was all you, because this is when you started taking it on a journey. And just about your fasting and what you was looking into about your blood type and things like that as well.
Yeah, I took a bit of an interest in my father actually mentioned to me about a book called Eat Right for Your Blood Type, because look, we have a curry and we come back, oh God, I feel so bloated. We eat a big bowl of pasta, or we have white bread and it's, oh God, you know, I feel bloated, got inflammation and stuff like that. And actually, if you look into it, it could be that you're eating things that are wrong for your body type or your blood type. And I've got this book called Eat Right for Your Blood Type. And yeah, it says that type O's, without going too much into it, the type O is like the most common blood group. And, you know, we're like got a hunter-gatherer diet. So it's low carb, lots of protein, lots of fats. And I kind of found out I was an O, and I switched to that. And yeah, that was when the weight really dropped off, and the mind started becoming clearer when I cut those carbs out. And kind of started sticking to that. And then someone mentioned to me about fasting. You know, you can do anywhere between kind of 12 and, 36, 48 hours. And people go, oh my God, you didn't eat for a couple of days. And it's like, yeah, but there are real health benefits. You know, I can't sort of sit here and say what they are, because everybody's different, but there's enough information out there for people to Google it and say, is it something that I could try? And see how I feel. And I've done a couple, and yeah, I felt really good after. Your body kind of switches over and thinks, okay, food's not coming in. We now need to start using other energy sources of fat and stuff, and it attacks stubborn areas of fat. And I lost a lot of weight by doing a few of those. Yeah, it's been a crazy journey, really, with everything. But you know, it kind of all stemmed from our calls. I think that's where, just want to obviously let the audience know that, you know, you're worth your weight in gold, mate, because you kind of helped me start this journey just by having these conversations. You know, it's easy to sort of say, I can do it all myself. I don't need a personal trainer, or I don't need. So, well, look, forget the PT side, which most people, I think about just doing a weight session. What about a chat? You know, what about a conversation with someone? How you feeling? You know, how do you feel when you get up in the morning? Where's your mindset at every day? You know, so there's been a lot of things. Cold showers I've tried. They're great. The saunas, they're pretty good as well. You know, like I can't run, but I can go and sit in a sauna for 15 minutes and get the heart rate up. So it's all stuff like that, which again, you sort of planted that seed and got me thinking, what can I do? As opposed to just, I can't run, so that's it. I'm on crutches. I'll just sit on the sofa and eat and watch Netflix. No, there's other stuff I can do. Yeah. Look, I'm if you know, whoever you're on board, I'm more than happy to kind of jump in on a call. And, you know, if someone does want to talk about fasting, again, there's enough information out there. I'm no expert on it, but talking personally from experience, I've had a good one with it.
Yeah, absolutely. So you kind of talked about where you're at the moment and life after the program. Like, what sort of like impact has it had on your day-to-day life in terms of where you're at right now compared to where you was 4 years ago?
Sleeping better.
Yeah.
Sleeping much better now. Kind of, again, I think that was something we spoke about, no phones before bed, try reading a book, and I've found that that's really, really helped. Sleep's so important, to get those hours in. And that has had a knock-on effect with everything I've found, because I wake up in the morning with more energy, which means I'm not craving food first thing in the morning, which is usually something sugary to get me going. You see a lot of people wake up and they'll have cereal, sugar, or they'll have you see people, they have a Monster drink first thing in the morning, which is just to get that kind of sugar, into their body to wake them up
or something.
Yeah. And I found that, that was something I was doing before. You have a Red Bull on the way to work or something, but I don't need to do that anymore. I'm finding that I've got that energy from as soon as I wake up. I think that all comes down to your diet and sleep as well, and also the kind of gym program and the running program that you kind of put me on as well. So I'm in a good space at the minute. I hopefully it keeps up. I'm pushing 4.0 now, but I feel all right. I feel good. So age is just a number.
Absolutely, mate. Like I say, you are in incredible shape. You're shifting, big weights in the gym, and you're, kind of fit as a fiddle. You're out kind of rucking, and you've got very little body fat percentage and all of those sorts of things. You're eating better, you're sleeping better, you're more energized. And given the fact that your work is it's very highly stressful, and you have to be on it and you have to manage your emotions and stuff like that, it's obviously paying dividends. Just one last question, really. It's like, for just if you was to like recommend to anyone else who was thinking about joining a program like this, quite often it's sometimes difficult to understand exactly what coaching is, especially when you kind of only think of a personal trainer or a psychologist, etc. Like, anyone who's sort of umming and ahhing or thinking about joining the program, what would you say to them?
I'd say, keep an open mind. Go for it, even if it's just a chat. You're not signing, your life away just by having a conversation with someone like yourself, just to kind of, find out where they're at and perhaps where you could help them. I think these sort of courses or programs have got a lot of value, especially because they're not just about the gym. It's about nutrition. It's about mindset. It's about sleep. It's about what can you do if you can't do this. So I think they're becoming more and more popular now. I think people are starting to wake up to the fact that there is a lot of food out there that's not good for us. There is a lot of people that live in lifestyles that are not great, that are highly stressful. So they tend to crave food because they're tired and they put on weight. So I think there's a lot of people out there that could do with talking to someone like you, Chris, and Rose James Coaching. And I just think, for anyone out there, just have an open mind to it. We can be quite stubborn and say, no, I want to do it all myself. I can do it. I can go to the gym. I've joined the gym before, but actually, them calls were great for me. And I was that stubborn person. I've been going to the gym since I was 16. I've had the abs when I was 18 and 23, and then I lost them. And it's like, I can do this myself. But actually, the gym may be fine, but the mindset stuff and the chats and the what can you do and what can't you do and the nutrition was something that, I've kind of, that's been a big sort of learn along the way for me.
Yeah, nice. Funny you say that, actually. I recorded a video just yesterday just about men and leaving your ego at the door, because you're right, we are stubborn, and I am just as stubborn as anyone. And you go, that's all right, I got in shape before, I can go to the gym. And you know what it's like. You go for a few months, you fall off it again, your diet and nutrition, and incrementally over time, the weight goes on, you feel more sluggish, you feel more tired. Then you look back 10 years down the line and go, wait a second, if I'd asked for help or done something then. But again, that's very attributed to a male trait as well, that we're the breadwinners, we can bring it in.
It's that ego thing, isn't it? It's that ego thing, and kind of, look, you've got to leave that at the door, absolutely. And just talking is good. We live in an age now where there's a lot of social media, a lot of conversations are done over Zoom or WhatsApps or this or that. But actually, do you know what? Just having a beer and a chat face to face is, people might say that's a bit old fashioned, but hey, I kind of find that's sometimes the best way. Those chats, you know, and as I say, they really helped me, because it's quite, you know, what I do is quite a lonely job. You know, I'm not in an office anymore with 120 consultants, you know, having banter across the desks and stuff. You know, I'm kind of stuck behind screens all day, you know, figuring stuff out. So again, those calls really helped with you to begin with. And, you know, there's probably a lot of guys out there, especially if you've got a lot of people still working from home, you know, you know, don't be afraid, you know, just give it a go.
Yeah. Well, look, Brad, I really appreciate your generosity of your time and just jumping on for 15-20 minutes just to have a chat about your experiences. Like I say, I think that your results absolutely speak for themselves, and it goes a lot deeper than how you look aesthetically. And these sorts of processes, especially doing it with such a dear friend, was it was just as enjoyable for me, and I've learned just as much as well. So thank you very much, mate. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no, you're welcome. And look, just one last point. I mean, look, we all want the body, the beach body, but I don't think that's the most important thing. I think the most important thing is how you feel in your mind. It all helps. You know, you eat well, you'll get the good body. You know, you get the good body, the mind will get in check. You know, so it's a whole package of things. And it's kind of where I feel I'm at now, and it's good to kind of be in that you're not sort of carefree mindset, or maybe I could use that term, but just waking up and feeling in a mindset that I've not really felt that I was in before. You know, not sluggish, not tired, you know, energetic. It's good. It's good. There's and I'd just like to say to people, have fun with it. You know, speak to someone like Chris or you know, join Rose James, or, you know, whatever kind of consultancy or PTR, and have fun with it. Experiment with your body. How do I feel when I eat this? You know, how do I feel when I eat that? You know, what about, you know, it's good. That's what I've done. And it's been a great journey.
Amazing, man. Anyway, really appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries, Chris.
If you join the program, you'll find Brad in the WhatsApp group as well still. So imparting plenty of advice and knowledge still. So yeah, really appreciate it, mate. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, you're welcome. Anytime. See you later.